What happens if we don't go outside? Okay, I know this is kind of a goofy topic, but I don't care. I'm your host, The Duck. And, being outside is something, I really enjoy, unless it's like -2 degrees outside. It's really nice to get out there, feel that sunlight. But what if you just stopped that altogether and you just didn't feel the sunlight at all? You were just a Discord moderator inside. Now, I'm not an expert in science by any means. I'm just some dumbass in his fucking room, so take this all with a grain of salt. I just thought it'd be interesting because everyone's talking about how touch grass this, touch grass that. But what would happen if someone actually never went outside? And we'll start with one day. I've done this before and nothing really happened to me, to be honest. But if you were to go for a week without going outside, you may start to experience cabin fever, or maybe even after a few days. And the longest I went isolated in my crib was a day, and I just had enough. And I literally felt like a Discord mod in my chair as I was just editing the entire fucking day. But here are some things that might happen to you if you do experience cabin fever, which is restlessness, irritability, boredom, difficulty concentrating, and sleep disturbances. Usually for cabin fever, you are being forced to stay inside, and that's how all these symptoms occur. And usually already your average person would not get to a week without going outside. No one would subject themselves to doing that. So how most people develop a cabin fever is if they're stuck due to like a snowstorm or something, or anything out of your control, cabin fever would happen. By now, if you were stuck, isolated against your will, you probably would have went outside by now. But if you spent weeks without going outside, you may begin to have some vitamin D deficiency. The early stages of vitamin D deficiency, you don't really notice any of the symptoms. And as the deficiency progresses, symptoms can include fatigue, muscle weakness, and bone pain, and an increased risk of fractures. Vitamin D is also involved within your immune system, so without the vitamin D, you may be at risk or more at risk for infections or chronic diseases. And you're gonna feel like ass, bro. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna feel like garbage. Because your body's just gonna keep producing melatonin because where's the sunlight? Nowhere. If your room's completely dark and had no windows open, then your brain would begin to produce melatonin as well. Now, if you were to go a month without going outside, or a few months, your mental health is gonna be so garbage. And not going outside can contribute to many mental health issues, such as like loneliness, depression, or anxiety. And if you were just stuck in a building or whatever it is for months, you're obviously not gonna be creative either. Your creativity is just gonna be fucked because, well, you've been stuck in a building that whole time with nowhere to go, nothing to do, or with limited things to do. You probably have done the same thing over and over again for the past few months if you were hypothetically stuck in the same place for a few months. If I was just being a mod inside, just looking at fucking Pokemon stream all day, I don't think I'd feel creative either, bro. And I don't know. Them symptoms of depression would definitely be kicking in too. And obviously, if you're just stuck in a single room by yourself for a few months with no sunlight, you're isolated. You are gonna be socially isolated. The only way you could realistically talk to somebody if you were just a Discord mod is, well, A, through Discord, or B, just virtually. That's it. And with that, of course, stems the feelings of loneliness that you heard me talk about earlier. Because, well, you're going to be socially isolated from all of society, and yeah, that's obviously gonna fuck up your mental health. And having like meaningful conversations with other people and just social interactions in general is also important for good brain function. And without good brain function, other things such as your memory, your concentration, and your decision making are gonna be really poor. This may vary depending on how active you are inside. Well, if you were to be hypothetically staying inside, how active would you be would kind of play a role in your cognitive function and how stimulated your mind is. Based on a scale of doing absolutely nothing, just sitting in one spot and, working out inside, I don't know, editing a video, for example, whatever. If you're productive, it's going to be way different than someone who isn't. But it's definitely still going to be lower for both people, if that makes sense. And the amount of vitamin D is still going to be decreasing, and your symptoms of vitamin D deficiency are just going to continue to worsen as we go on. Also, mood swings are going to happen way more frequently. And according to Healthline, sunlight has a lot to do with serotonin as well, and the release of that chemical. And serotonin is the chemical that is associated with being, content, calm, focused, relaxed, and it's also responsible for helping you sleep, according to Healthline.com. Along with other things such as mood, digestion, literally your entire life is going to fall apart if you don't go outside. If you want to release some serotonin, then yes, go the fuck outside. Every time I've had a good day out, quote unquote, I've slept like a baby. You could get the same hours of sleep as someone who did go outside if you were the bum that stayed inside, you would still feel like a tub of lard after sleeping, all right? You would still feel like ass. Your serotonin production's down. Everything is down. It just all comes full circle. And also, you're gonna see a decline within your physical fitness, all right? You're just gonna feel like a tub of lard. Although, I mean, some people could just be exercising inside hypothetically, but your energy level's just gonna be trash. And what are the odds that someone's gonna be exercising indoors for months? The odds of that are so low. If you were a homebody staying in your home, posted up for like a few months, you would not be going to the gym and exercising. Living a sedentary lifestyle, it's fucking trash. Don't do it. You're literally gonna feel like shit every day. If you're just sitting around in a chair and not really going out or exercising, it's just really bad. Like, a sedentary lifestyle is already bad enough. Imagine doing that 24/7. Yeah, obviously being more active is healthier for you than living a sedentary lifestyle. Like, yeah, no shit. One symptom we all gotta think of not going outside is like very pale skin. It's a classic, but surprisingly, I didn't really find much on how long it would take for your skin to get pale. It probably all depends on your skin complexion, but for me personally, after like 4 months of just getting less sunlight, not even just like being isolated in a building, I looked like Casper the Ghost at the beginning of the summer. So I can only imagine how pale my skin would be if I just stayed inside and got no sunlight. Now, next we gotta move on to what would happen if you didn't go outside for years. I'm talking like 2 to 3 years. First thing that could happen, people could develop some serious health conditions, such as cardiovascular diseases, obesity, and metabolic disorders over the long term. And obviously, if you're just stuck in a cave for a year, you're just gonna be completely disconnected from society. And plus, you probably would have already driven yourself insane if you haven't gone outside for a year. You would probably been fucking tallying all the fucking days you were stuck in there. You would have went insane already. That's definitely one of the symptoms, but we're just gonna act like it's not there, guys. You know, it's all happy, go lucky. Yeah, no, this should be one of the fucking symptoms. I don't know how it's not. Because if I wasn't outside in the long term for like fucking 2 to 3 years, I definitely would have driven myself insane. Zero contact with anybody, nothing like that. Yeah, no, I would have been gone. There would have been no me after like 2 to 3 years of not going outside. I would have been gone. As some sources say, being locked in solitary confinement for 15 days, even just 15 days, can do psychological damage. So think about not going outside for a year. Like, you wouldn't even be able to have a single coherent thought. You either would have driven yourself insane, like, I don't know, you would be acting like the Joker, or your brain would just be absolute mush. You would just be a bot. Just feeling like Squidward doing the same thing over and over again. So how long should you spend outside a day? All those Play 60 commercials absolutely fucking drilled into my head that I need to spend 60 minutes a day outside every day. But if you're a moderator, your Discord moderator watching this right now, and you need some advice, well, I got you. 20 minutes a day. That's it. Most people really just spend 20 minutes a day outside, on average. Obviously, if it's like really shitty out, then don't go outside. You see the sun going out, you're not really doing much, fuck it, just go for a walk. There's just so many health benefits listed right here in this screenshot. Like, look at all of them. Look at all of them. Holy shit, that's a lot of health benefits. I don't actually have a screenshot. I'm just gonna hope I find one. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Ducky, and go watch that video on the end screen. You won't regret it. Go now. Go, go, go.